In a quiet workshop in Vietnam, a young artist named Ton is crafting legends from wood before your eyes today. Not one, but two breathtaking dragon sculptures, each carved by hand, each alive with motion, strength, and ancient spirit. This is not just wood carving, this is power carving at its purest form. Will today stay with us and watch how raw timber transforms into living myth. Hold on tight, we're just getting started. Here, Ton has flipped the remaining block to rough out the second dragon form. You hear that chainsaw roar. He's removing huge chunks of wood, establishing the dragon's body arc and that massive central sphere. The power carving chainsaw is the workhorse at this stage, carving fast but still guided by Ton's trained eye. Notice how the bell sphere stands proud. Even now, Ton left it intact to preserve its natural beauty. Now he switches to a coarse carving disc on his angle grinder. With controlled sweeps, Ton smooths each raw face into gentle curves, defining the dragon's belly and the cloud motifs around the orb. You can see wood chips flying. This is where the sculpture's energy really takes form. The noise of the grinder fades into the rhythm of creation. Now, he switches to a coarse carving disc on his angle grinder. With the controlled sweeps, Ton smooths each rough face into gentle curves, defining the dragon's belly and the cloud motifs around the orb. You can see wood chips flying. This is where the sculpture's energy really takes form. The noise of the grinder fades into the rhythm of creation. But here, Ton switches to his micro-rotary tool to sculpt the swirling water beneath the dragon's claws. Watch how the bit dances across the wood, carving rhythmic grooves that mimic crashing waves. Each carved line is intentional, deep where the current is strongest, shallow where it curls and retreats. The tool's speed and Ton's steady hand create those fluid ribbons of wood, turning solid timber into a living torrent. That's the power of precise carving, the illusion of movement, frozen forever in grain and fiber. Now, Ton zeroes in on the dragon's snout, arguably its most expressive feature. He swaps to an ultra-fine engraving bit, working inch by inch. See how he carves the nostril flares with gentle inward strokes, creating that fierce, flaring look. Then, he deepens the ridge down the bridge, adding subtle facets that catch the light. Each tiny cut defines the dragon's breath. Sharp, powerful, alive. Notice how Ton tilts the tool slightly to undercut the upper lip, carving a hint of snarling teeth just beneath the surface. This is where emotion meets craftsmanship. The snout goes from flat wood to a dynamic, snarling focal point that draws your eye and your imagination right in. Ton shifts his focus to the cloud motifs that dance around the dragon's body. Using a fine engraving bit, he traces each wall with deliberate flowing strokes, sketching deep valleys and soft peaks to mimic billowing mist. Watch how his hand steadies the tool, carving crisp edges on one side, then sweeping it gently on the other for that smooth, rounded effect. These carved clouds aren't just decoration. They cradle the dragon, giving you the illusion of soaring through stormy skies. Each curve and contour catches light differently, creating shadows that shift as you move. That interplay of light and dark brings the entire sculpture to life, as if the dragon is truly riding the winds. Now, take a look at Dragon's reverse side. Ton deliberately preserves much of the raw, weathered barrel there. He lightly smooths the surface with a rounded sanding drum, keeping the naturals, swirls, knots, and color variations intact. Yet, within those organic textures, you can still discern the dragon's form, a sinuous tail curling around a hollow, a hint of scales peeking through, and wisps of cloud motifs flowing seamlessly into the untouched wood. This balance between untouched grain and subtle carving gives the sculpture depth and authenticity, like the dragon is emerging from the very heart of the timber itself. Ending begins the most intricate work, tiny embellishments on the dragon's crown and brow. Ton swaps to an ultra-fine engraving bit, moving with surgical precision. Watch as he carves delicate ridges along each horn, accentuating their curve with micro streaks. He lightly etches the eyelids, giving the dragon that fierce, half-closed gaze, as if sizing up its prey. Notice the tiny scales around the forehead. Each one is individually defined, overlapping like protective armor. He uses minimal pressure, letting the tool's rotation do the cutting, ensuring no detail is lost. This painstaking process brings the dragon's expression to life, transforming rough wood into an intensely focused stare that commands attention. Here, Ton reaches for his chisel, no power tool this time, to carve the dramatic wave patterns along the dragon's belly. Watch how he positions the blade at a precise angle, then taps gently to split the wood fibers, creating deep, rhythmic grooves. Each groove mimics the crest of a rolling wave, alternating between sharp peaks and soft dips. By using the chisel's flat edge, Ton undercuts slightly at the bottom of each trough, casting natural shadows that give the waves real volume. This hand tool work brings an organic flow to the dragon's form. Each belly ridge now pulses with energy, as if the creature is writhing through storm-tossed waters. Here, Ton reaches for his chisel, no power tool this time, to carve the dramatic wave patterns along the dragon's belly. Watch how he positions the blade at a precise angle, then taps gently to split the wood fibers, creating deep, rhythmic grooves. Each groove mimics the crest of a rolling wave, alternating between sharp peaks and soft dips. By using the chisel's flat edge, Ton undercuts slightly at the bottom of each trough, casting natural shadows that give the waves real volume. This hand tool work brings an organic flow to the dragon's form. Each belly ridge now pulses with energy, as if the creature is riding through storm-tossed waters. If you're as amazed by Ton's power carving mastery as I am, hit that subscribe button now and join our community of wood art lovers. Drop a comment below. Tell us which detail blew you away, the claws, the scales, or the swelling waves. Your feedback fuels our next carving adventure. And there you have it, Ton's masterpiece complete. From raw bow wood to this breathtaking dragon coiled around its cosmic pearl, every detail sings of skill, passion, and tradition. Look at the intricate scales, the swelling clouds, the luminous ball sphere at its heart. This is more than sculpture, it's a story carved in wood. And now we move on to the second blank, a massive chunk of burrow with even more hidden surprises. Ton begins by examining the green, tracing natural contours with chalk to plan his next design. Notice how he lets the wood's knots and swells guide him, envisioning where the dragon's tail and claws will emerge. In the upcoming segment, you see him switch between chainsaw roughing and precision sketching, laying the groundwork for another epic sculpture. Stay tuned to witness how raw timber becomes legend again. Here we go. Ton fires up his angle grinder equipped with a carving disc to block in the dragon's head on this second bar blank. Watch how he holds the grinder firmly, guiding it along the chalked outline of the snout and brow. Those sweeping, aggressive cuts remove large chunks of wood, yet he never loses sight of the final shape. He follows the grain, swooping the disc in fluid arcs that curve the jawline and forehead. In second, we see the dragon's profile emerge from the rough surface, its fierce gaze and open jaws already taking form. This is pure power carving in action, bold, decisive, and breathtaking to watch. In this seamless transition, Ton first sculpts the dragon's head from the rough, sweeping grinder cuts you just saw, defining the jawline and brow with bold, textured strokes. Then, almost instantly, he switches to his rotary tool, zooming in to refine every crest, every tiny scale. Notice how the raw, chiseled planes give way to crisp, flowing details, the snarling lips, the ridged horn, and the intricate whiskers. It's a masterful dance between power carving and precision engraving. Two moments, one vision, brought to life in wood. Watch as Ton brings the dragon's torso to life with the elegant sweeping contours. He uses his fine rotary tool to carve sinuous curves along the spine, each cut following the wood's natural grain. Notice how he alternates between deeper gouges and shallow passes, creating a rhythmic flow that mirrors the dragon's coiled posture. These graceful lines define the creature's muscular form, lead your eye from the powerful shoulders down to the tapered tail. It's the perfect blend of artistry and anatomy, transforming raw timber into a dynamic, living silhouette. And here's where Ton's artistry truly soars. He is beginning to sculpt the swirling cloud masses that frame the dragon. With his rotary tool spinning at high speed, he carves broad, flowing forms that wrap around the creature's body like drifting mist. Notice how he alternates between deep undercuts and soft bevels to give each cloud volume and depth. These bold, rounded shapes contrast beautifully with the dragon's sharp scales, creating a dynamic interplay of textures. As he works, you can almost feel the motion. These clouds guide your eye, lifting the dragon's energy skyward. So don't go anywhere. Stick around and enjoy what happens next. Ton's about to take this carving to the next level, revealing more striking details and breathtaking techniques. Let's dive in. Now, Ton switches to a sanding disc wheel, essentially an abrasive paper on a rotary backing. He presses it gently against the carving, smoothing rough tool marks and evening out the wood surface. Watch the fine dust cascade away as the disc glides over scales and cloud ridges, refining each curve without softening the crisp edges. The sanding phase unifies the textures, prepping the sculpture for final finishing and ensuring every detail transitions seamlessly from sharp scales to flowing clouds. It's the quiet stage where precision meets polish. Now that the base is smooth, Ton returns with his fine rotary bit to redefine the water swirls around the dragon's body. Notice how he gently etches deep, tapering grooves, each line mimicking a cresting wave. He alternates between broad flowing curves and tight spiraling accents, giving the illusion of churning water. The contrast of shadow in the deeper cuts makes the lighter ridges pop. The entire motif seems to dance beneath the dragon's claws. This final texture breathes life into the sculpture. Water in motion, forever frozen in wood. Here, Ton returns to the dragon's head, adding those last soulful accents that make the whole piece sing. With a sharp chisel, he carves the delicate strands of the dragon's beard, each filament etched with feather-light precision. Then he deepens the creases around the eyes, giving the gaze an intense, commanding presence. Notice how the carved cuts around the nostrils and brow create lifelike shadow and depth. This is the heartbeat of the sculpture. The head transforms from a powerful form into a true expression of spirit and legend. It's these finishing touches that elevate the carving from impressive to irreplaceably epic. And there it is, this solitary dragon, born from raw burl and carved to life with unmatched skill. From its razor-sharp scales to the swirling waves frozen beneath its claws, every detail showcases Ton's power-carving mastery. I'm truly amazed. His talent has turned simple wood into pure legend. If you're as blown away as I am, hit like and drop a comment celebrating Ton's incredible artistry. Hello again, carving fans, and welcome to the third installment of our Dragon series here on Wood Carving Artist. I'm your host, and today we're following Ton as he transforms a third hefty bowl block into a breathtaking dragon sculpture. Over the next 10 minutes, you'll witness every powerhouse cut, every precision detail, and the artistry that brings myth to life. Ready? Let's fire up those tools. Ton starts by rotating the robot, examining its grain patterns and natural knots. He's looking for the hidden heart of the wood, where the dragon's head, spine, and tail will flow most naturally. Grabbing a white chalk marker, he sketches rough outlines. The head here, the arc of the back there, and the bulging sphere under the belly. This chalk guide is Ton's roadmap, ensuring each bold cut stays true to his vision. Ila sound kaukoreba ireni govoi automatica for a vulnerable. He see next on once he powers up the chainsaw, the workhorse from Raf family, then plunge the bar directly along the chalk line to remove loadiest chunks of wood. Those deep V-shaped cuts establish the dragon's overall silhouette. Swapping to an angle grinder fitted with a coarse carving disc, Ton smooths the brutal chainsaw planes. He holds the grinder at a 30 degrees angle, carving in sweeping motions to refine the jawline and the arch of the spine. Notice how the grinder's teeth catch the grain, leaving fan-shaped tool marks that hint at the dragon's scales to come. This stage removes the last vestiges of the saw's roughness, giving Ton a clear canvas for fine work. Once the head mass is defined, Ton reaches for his rotary tool with a medium engraving bit. Inch by inch, he undercuts the brow ridge, carves the nostril flares, and hollows out the eye sockets. You can see the sculpture's expression come alive. Those deep eye hollows will later cradle the dragon's fierce gaze. Every pass is deliberate. Too deep, and you lose detail. Too shallow, and there's no depth. Ton's experience shows in his surgical precision. Zooming in now, Ton switches to a fine point bit to carve the dragon's snarling snout. He carves each tooth individually, undercutting at the base so they appear to jut forward menacingly. Small chips fall away as he sculpts the upper lip's snarling curl. Those tiny gouges give the dragon character. You can almost hear its thunderous roar echo from the wood itself. Moving down to the neck and body, Ton begins the painstaking scale layering. Starting with larger scales at the shoulders, he carves overlapping ovals that shrink as they approach the tail. Then along the spine, he chisels flame-shaped spikes that alternate in height, mimicking a live creature's dorsal ridge. This contrast between rounded scales and sharp spikes imbues the piece with dynamic tension. The eye dances across every curve. Now to the limbs. Ton brings back the angle grinder for rough shaping of the legs, then refines each digit with his rotary tool. He meticulously defines knuckles, undercuts the claw joints, and carves hooked talons that seem ready to grip air. His pinky finger acts as a stabilizer, hovering over the wood to guide those micro strings. This is where strength meets delicacy. Each claw is a miniature masterpiece in itself. With the anatomy set, Ton turns the environment, swirling clouds and crashing waves, using alternating bits, brooder for sweeping arcs, finer for tight curls. He carves cloud motifs around the dragon's head. Each swirl is undercut to cast dramatic shadows. Beneath the claws, he carves water motifs with tapering grooves, giving the illusion of a dragon bursting through a storm-tossed sea. The interplay of smooth and textured surfaces creates unparalleled visual depth. Finally, Ton smooths the entire piece with a sanding disc, blending tool marks without losing that handcrafted texture. Then he returns to the finest rotary bit to resharpen skill edges and redefined shadow lines. Step back with me and admire the result. A dragon born of power, sculpted by power carving mastery, and bursting with life. If Ton's work has amazed you, show your appreciation. Hit like, drop a comment on your favorite detail, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes artistry. Thanks for watching. See you in the next Dragon adventure.